माननीय सदस्यगण, डिस्कशन ऑन द वर्किंग ऑफ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लेबर एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट। समय 4 घंटे। ये बहस आज ही कंक्लूड होनी है, इसलिए कृपया समय का पालन हम लोग करेंगे। माननीय श्री ऑनरेबल एम शनमुगम जी टू रेज द डिस्कशन। प्लीज एन शनमुगम, प्लीज। इट्स 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Sir, poor worker, give more time.
4 hours.
Sir.
4 hours. 4 hours. Please let him skip. Let him speak.
सर, ये इम्पोर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है और करोड़ों लोग ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड, फैक्ट्री वर्कर्स सभी इसमें इन्वॉल्व है। तो इसको समय आपने तो 4 घंटे वहाँ बिजनेस एडवाइजरी में किया है, लेकिन चेयरमैन का ये आदेश था कि समय के अनुसार और यहाँ पर की वातावरण देखकर बढ़ा भी सकते हैं, क्योंकि बहुत से अब कल तो एक दिन पहले 2 दिन का स्ट्राइक हो गया था और सारे लोग उसमें शामिल हो गए थे। अनेक समस्याएं हैं, डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट का है, डीनेशनलाइजेशन का है। इसीलिए आप थोड़ा इसको ज्यादा समय दीजिए, इसको एक्सटेंड कीजिए।
धन्यवाद। माननीय एलओपी, माननीय चेयरमैन के कहे और आप सबके विचार से जो डिस्कशन नॉर्थ ईस्ट पर 4 घंटे का था वो 6 घंटे हुआ, जो ट्राइबल अफेयर्स पे था 4 घंटे का 6 घंटे हुआ, रेल पर 4 घंटे का 8 घंटे हुआ। आज चूंकि कल फेयरवेल है 76 मेंबर्स का, फ्राइडे को फ्राइडे का वो है, फिर समय नहीं, इसलिए ये बिल आज समय पर कंक्लूड होना है। नाउ ऑनरेबल एम शनमुगम जी 9 minutes प्लीज। सॉरी, बिल नहीं, डिस्कशन।
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I have an opportunity to speak on the labor. Labor is wealth of the world, and it is not a commodity to mere factor of the production that you can hire and fire. The employer should treat labor as an essential asset with emotional bond. Therefore, the function of this government and the Ministry of Labor should be to ensure life and dignity of the labor force of the country by protecting the safeguarding the interests of the workers, promotion of their welfare and providing social security to the labor force both in organized and unorganized sector. Employees are divided in 2 parts. One is government employees and another one is industrial employees. Government employees are governed by the service rules. Industrial employees are governed by the standing orders and labor laws. There are organized and unorganized labor who are also contributing in the development of the economy and nation. The organized labor have the employer-employee relationship. The unorganized labor are not having the employer-employee relationship. Sir, what is the labor want? First of all, the labor want 3 things. One is job security, second one is wages, third one is social security. For the job security, how they can get the job security and all the 3 things? One labor alone cannot fight with the employer. So that more than one person join together and organize a trade union by which they are getting the benefits. So the Trade Union Act enacted. By that trade union, it was there are so many trade unions all over the country. It was necessary to consolidate all the trade union. They want to form a central trade union. The first central trade union was AITC. Subsequently, many trade unions have been formed. Now there are 12 trade unions recognized by the Union Government of India. During the British time, the employer and the employee want to bring a common law for the working class. So they formed the Indian Labour Conference that was convened on 1940, headed by A. Ramsay Moliar. Then Baba Sahib Ambedkar was the chairman of ILC for the next conference. In the ILC, all the 44 labor laws were consolidated and passed act in the parliament. After the every year, sometimes after a gap of 2 years, meeting used to take place. 2015 year meeting was the last meeting. Sri Narendra Modi ji was the last person to attend the Prime Minister as a Prime Minister in that meeting. He said, tripartite consultation is the highest forum in Indian Labour Conference. After 2015, the Indian Labour Conference has not yet been held despite making many representation by the trade unions. Sir, I do not know why this government is afraid with the trade union not to discuss with any matter. From 1940, the tripartite meetings are being held regularly. In the Indian Labour Conference, many decisions were taken and they have become law in the Indian Parliament. All the 44 labour laws have come that way. Now that process is stopped. For the finalization of labour codes, also subsequently for the publication of rules, the union government had not consulted the trade unions. Sir, all the 44 laws subsumed as 4 labour codes. One is industrial relation code, another one is wage code, another one is social security code, another one is occupational safety and working conditions. That the 4 codes. We have differences of these so many things, but the time is not permit me to explain everything. But I will give some examples. What is in the trade union problem? The registration of trade union. Earlier, 7 member or 10% workman was enough to register the trade union. Now they have changed it to 100 members or 10%. And no outsider can participate in the trade union. Previously, 1/3 of trade union representation can be outsider who are expert that help the poor workers to guide and achieve their demands effectively. That is refused now. In this condition, to organize a trade union is a problem. For helping the poor worker is refused. Then how can the trade union can grow? How can the industrial relation will be prevail in this country? And the next one, there is job security. For job security, sir, standing order. That standing order is the very important. Every worker, whenever they employed, it is a duty of the employer to give you a copy of the standing order in which how to join, what is the working time, what is the identity card, what is the category of this workman, and what is the disciplinary proceeding. Everything was laid down in the standing order. That is in the procedure. That categorization of the workman, permanent workman, casual workman, trainee, and the contract workers. These are the categories. There are some proportion. But what is going now? The permanent workman is less, but the contract workman and outsourcing workman is very, very high. The proportion is. You see, the contract workman, there is an act. Contract Labour Abolition and Regulation Act. What is meant by Abolition and Regulation Act? If it is a perennial nature of the job, there should not be any contract. Who has to control? That the implementation officers should control. But there is no implementation. So that all the perennial nature of job let out to the contract work. So the contract workers number is higher than the permanent workmen. And outsourcing in other name. The outsourcing, they are doing all the jobs the permanent workmen, what they are doing, that all the jobs, giving to the outside, getting done. For cutting their capital expenditure, like that they are saying that one. And another one, FTA, fixed term employment. I want to ask the government, we are opposing that one. Sir, already there is a contract worker. That Contract Worker Act itself have so many class to employ a person temporarily for a time to take out that work. But what is the necessity of the fixed time employment? The fixed time employment, it is an contrary to the permanent employment. And another one is, in the definitions, there are so many definitions. What the first Labour Commission and the second Labour Commission said, there are so many laws to unify, to amalgamate and simplify. Only we have to bring a very easy law for the poor workers. But this, in this code, for worker definition, worker one definition, employee one definition, gig worker one definition, there are so many definitions. Maybe we are disputing that one. There should be only one definition. Why? At the same time, another one is dispute, there is one definition. The dispute means the dispute between worker and the employer is called a dispute. If I called employee, I cannot raise the dispute. If I called a gig worker, I cannot raise the dispute. If I will not, I have no grievance to raise any dispute, what is the necessary of the Labour Department? There is no necessary for the Labour Department. It is a free hand for the employer to exploit the workers. Next one is wage. I come to the wages, sir. In the Industrial Dispute Act also, previously, if an employer want to lay off, retrenchment or closure, if it is more than 100 workmen, they should get the permission from the government. But now that increased to 300 workmen.
So 300 reduced to 100.
Huh?
Earlier it was 300.
300, now it is reduced to 100. 300.
Yes. More companies may come in their purview.
You see, after globalizations, all the companies, they have reduced their strength. Automation set and company. So that it is not necessary the company to get the permission from the anybody else, any government to retrench or closure or anything. So that is happening in anywhere, allwhere else. We have seen so many companies. In Tamil Nadu, there is one Nokia handset manufacturer. They came and they have started the manufacturing. They employed this 18 years of the workers, more than 6,000 workers they employed. After 3 years, they closed down. What is the reason? They are the defaulter of the 24,000 crores of the Central Government Act. Central Government shares taxes and 2,004 crore of the state government taxes. Still that company has not reopened. We don't know whether the union government has received that money or not. So such is happening. So this class is very dangerous. It is very, very easy for the employer to exploit the workers. And for the wage, sir, only, sir,
Please conclude.
for wages, sir.
I know.
Sir, wages.
Give my time.
Minimum wages, sir. There are minimum wages, fair wages, and living wages. for the minimum wages. The Supreme Court said, if any employer who paid less than the minimum wages, he is not able to run their industries. That is minimum wages. How to define the minimum wages? There is in the 15th Labour Conference, they laid a acquired formula to how to bring. In the latest 7th Pay Commission also, in the page number 2256, they have brought very great line. The 18,000 is the minimum wages. So that we are demanding 9,000 rupees as a pension for that. But in this code, they brought another one, floor level minimum wages, that is rupees 172. Are you imagine, can we get an employee for 172 rupees per day in anywhere else in the world? Which is impracticable. These are all the classes are there. And EPF pension. So the EPF pension, we all the trade union we had demanded. In the previous government also a group of ministers was formed. And the group of ministers we had discussed, they agreed. They have given 1,000 rupees minimum pension. Then subsequently, we are demanding 9,000 rupees, but they are not giving. Instead of giving that, they are reducing the rate of interest of the EPF, which is affecting the total working class. The trust board of the employees, they never accept, they are refused to deduct the rate of the interest. And
Last minute, sir. Please conclude, Shanmugam ji.
ESI, sir. ESI is a very good scheme which is announced. Sir, the ESI, there are so many hospitals. The ESI ceiling, that is 21,000 rupees, sir. If I cross the ESI scheme, then I cannot get the benefit. So, what we are demanding, as like as the EPF, there should be an that limit, up to that limit, that ESC should be deducted, by which the insured person's rate will also be increased. Automatically, we will get the benefit of the ESA in all the way. The same way, sir, in the pension. The pension is a mandatory. It is not an obligatory. The pension, they have to create, the government should create the fund for the pension. They failed to create because on that time, the death rate was very low. Now, the living age is so high. Now, the failure of the government, they are giving the new pension scheme by which they are exploiting the employees. The unorganized labor. You know the conditions of unorganized labor. There are gig workers and so many. Sir, in this matter also, in Tamil Nadu, we have enacted Manual Workers Act in 1982, by which we have started nearly 20 unorganized boards. In the boards, we have recruited near about 2 crores of workers in that unorganized board. But now, the union government has started a e-Shram portal. They also in parallelly, they also enroll the unorganized labor,
Please conclude, sir.
Which is giving the duplication of the work and everything. Sir, by all these things, all the trade union, we have placed a 12 demands to the government. For that, we went on strike for every year we are going strike. But it is duty of the Labour Department, it is duty of the government to call all the trade unions, at least to hear what they want. And that is the labor, they should maintain that the labor relation. That relation is not so that I oppose all the activities and the courts. We want to take back all the 4 courts and discuss with all the trade unions.
Thank you.
Convene the labor conference.
Including BMS.
Including BMS.
Thank you very much,
Convene the
sir.
labor conference and get the good for the laborers, which is very helpful for the poor employees. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker, Shri Prakash Javadekar.